Hey YouTube, I've actually been playing with my system here for a little bit, and I've actually decided that I am going to rebuild my system. I need a new power supply and probably some sort of heatsink fan combo thing, so I am going to run to Best Buy and grab a new fan and a new power supply. They have a Corsair 750 for like 120 bucks or something like that. So that should be more than enough. The 500 I had in here has a blown capacitor I will show you in a second, and it's also got a blown up resistor in it. So because I don't know the value of the resistor, nor do I have schematics of the power supply, not fixable, and I don't trust it with my board anyway, so I believe my board is okay. Let me give you a quick rundown on the parts. This is my Asus P5N-E SLI motherboard. It's got dual PCIe slots that I was running in SLI. I'm going to still run an SLI. 775, 4 SATA ports, IE headers, standard motherboard. It's even got eSATA on it. It's a nice board. I like it. I've had good luck with it. This is my Antec Earthwatts power supply that I just tore apart because I was kind of curious if it had bad capacitors in it, and it does. Whether you can see this or not, a bad capacitor is when I probably can't see that very well. Well, maybe you can. Bad capacitor, you can tell when it's got stuff coming out of the top or when it's puffy or blown up at the top. I've also got a bad resistor right there, which is probably more difficult to see, but it was all blown up. It had all the plastic had melted and stuff around it, so I think I'm just going to replace the whole unit rather than try to repair the capacitors in it. Or replace the capacitor and resistor rather. You can see I got my case cleaned up. The fans are clean. I didn't realize this case had a grill guard on the front, or a filter on the front, so I cleaned that. It was full of dust, and I took the front bezel off and I cleaned all that. And this case is actually kind of cool because it's set up for water cooling. So Best Buy also has a water cooling kit on sale, so I may attempt that. This is my Pentium D chip. It's a Pentium D 925 3.0 gigahertz 4 meg L2 and an 800 megahertz front side bus. These chips are known for overheating. I work in the computer field during the day, and whew, these things overheat like crazy. I've had a lot of them in where I've actually replaced the chip because it cooks them. So I'm thinking might try liquid cooling it. I've never liquid cooled a system before. So we'll see. Corsair has also got a kit at Best Buy on sale, so let me go take a run up there and see what happens. Hey YouTube, back from Best Buy. Didn't end up going with water cooling. I went with this Rocketfish Universal Heatsink. It's got I don't know how many millimeters this is. I estimate it somewhere around 110 millimeter fan. It only comes with one, but it has the option to add a second one, so it'll have 2 fans on it pulling heat off of the CPU. So, well, I thought you guys might like to see this. Instead of coming in a plastic bag, this power supply actually comes in a nice case. That's the first power supply I've ever seen do that. It's kind of cool, but you know, I don't know if it's totally necessary, but cool. We'll see how she performs. Hopefully she performs as good as she looks. Well, I got it out of its fancy packaging, and it's just a really nice looking unit. I've never seen a power supply built this nice. Unfortunately, it's not modular, but I can deal with that. So, gotta fit it in here now. It's the next step. Now, before I mount this, I fitted it with an anti-rattle sleeve. I don't know if it's totally necessary, but I've always had it on this case. It keeps the power supply from rattling against the case. Well, I have my power supply mounted in there, and you can see it's got quite a bit of cables here, so it's going to be fun to route everything. It's even got PCIe stuff, so I can put better dual video cards in it at some point. That's pretty cool. Even got a nifty little badge to put on the case. And you can see I've also got, I don't have a Thermaltake fan in it. It was a cool sticker that I got from work, so I stuck it on there. It does have an Asus board though. Well, my dad actually had a fan, another fan, so I have 2 fans on my Pentium D. Alright guys, well, I have the motherboard back in the computer. My dad had another 90mm fan, so I put 2 of them on there, so the air is actually going to suck right through it, and hopefully these two 120mm fans will actually help pull the hot air off of the CPU as well as the 90mm fans. So hopefully this will keep this system nice and cool, and I won't have any more issues with it. I am going to get a quad-core chip at some point in the next couple of weeks to run in this. So you can see it is coming back together slowly. I've got some more screws to put into the motherboard. I got to put my memory in it. I'm going to double my memory, maybe triple it, quadruple it, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I might get 4 2GB DDR2-800 sticks and stick those in there, and a quad-core chip and a Blu-ray player, and that would give me a great upgrade for the moment. That would allow me to edit the videos. Hopefully this comes up without any issue. Well, she's almost back together. I got the motherboard mounted. I got my memory in there, got my video cards, my extra USB card, got my power supply, got my 1 hard drive for the moment. I gotta put my DVD drive in. Gonna get a TV tuner, sound card, and a Blu-ray drive, and a couple more hard drives, maybe at some point. Double the memory, and a quad-core chip. That should keep this machine out of trouble for a while. Well, she's completely back together now. I got my second drive in there, a terabyte drive. This is a 320. I'm leaving that one unpowered for the moment because I just want to see if the system comes up with just the 320 in it, because it was overheating. Just to recap, I got 2 90mm fans blowing the air this way, out the back with the 120mm fan sucking it out. I've got one 120mm fan up here sucking cool air in from outside on the hard drives. And I got another, I think that's a 120 in there, in the power supply, sucking hot air out. Plus the cover here is all, that will be here, is all mesh graded. Well, she's up and running for the moment. I get a post screen. It was yelling at me that somebody had changed the CPU, and that was me because I took it all apart. So opening it into BIOS and correct whatever issue it had, but it didn't seem to hit the delete key quick enough. So hopefully she'll boot into Vista. Yep, there we go. She shut down incorrectly. Hopefully this will get nice and cool. I can feel the air coming off of it. It's not super warm yet, but I want to see if I can get some higher flow fans, CFM fans at some point, and stick them back here. Or maybe I can adjust how fast they spin. I gotta look and see where they're actually plugged in, which they might actually be plugged into the motherboard, in which case I should just plug them directly into the power supply.